Good morning and welcome to Chapter 8, Understand Fractions. Now, if you've already viewed the new schedule document that I put up there, you will know that it says math will go live from 10:30 to 11 o'clock. So what that will entail is what you're seeing. I will go live, same as we've been doing with our Google Meet, and I will record this teaching as I teach it, and you guys give your input. And I will be using the workbook pages so that I can zoom in easily for you to see the stuff at a bigger scale. As we then talk about everything, I will put our answers in and go forward. But we are not going to start Google Live classes for math until Wednesday. So that gives us time to get you logged into Think Central, to get you acclimated to where it is. Now, today's activity that follows this math lesson, however, is in Think Central. So when you finish watching this video, you will go to the bayheadschool.org bookmarks tab you have, go to where it says Think Central, and then you're going to send me a message because am going to give you your login, and for everyone except Ryder, who I did not reset, you will be given a temporary password. Mainly because I didn't know who had already signed in, not signed in, but I know Ryder's, we made sure before we left that you had all of your information. Once you've logged in, you'll click on assignments and you will see the math lesson that has the activity for this. So let's get us started here. So we're going to do the what do you already know. Now, equal parts, we learned that in kindergarten. We said it must be fairly cut. It must be fair to share. So it says circle the shapes that have equal parts. Well, he's not, but he is, because if I color in 1/2, it's equal to the other side. Number 2, I want the big piece. No one would be happy with the small ones. This is equally fair. Is this? Not quite. If this had been cut a little differently, it would have worked. Numbers 3, 4, and 5 say, if I took a triangle shape, how many could I potentially put in here? So you have to use your imagination a little bit and imagine that there is a triangle piece there and there is a triangle piece there. And I don't know if you can see that quite right. Maybe that's a little bit more helpful. I don't know if it'll work better if I turn the light on. There we go, a little bit better there. I've drawn my shapes, and now I can say that there will be 1, 2, 3 triangles to make up that shape. Now, this is not going to look as nice, but if I cut it by drawing lines across the shape, I can now find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 triangles to make up that one. This one's a little easier. I cut it in half. I now have 2 triangles. All right, we've done this part. It says count equal groups. Again, it's saying, what do you already know? How many groups are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many in each group? I only see 2. How many equal groups? Hopefully you said 3. And what's in each of those? There are 4. Now, you always have that math in the real world question. Here he is enjoying some pizza. Casey shared a pizza with some friends. They each ate 1/3 of the pizza. How many people shared the pizza? Well, if they each got 1/3, well, that's 1/3 and 1/3. That's only 2/3. Is that a whole pie? What if I add another? Now I have 1, 2, 3, which would give me 3/3, or we know, or will know, that that equals 1. So how many people shared the pizza? My answer is 3 people, because I have 1, 2, 3 1/3 pieces. All right, now that's your simple review of a little bit of what we're going to take from the past and now move forward with. And here is where you say, OMG, I have to use all of these words. But notice they're fraction pieces. And I need to know, what would I call them? If I have a piece that has nothing cut, we say that is a whole. If I have 2 parts, what do you call it? Halves. Okay, here's halves, here's whole. I have 1, 2, 3 pieces, so I'm going to call it thirds. Okay, take a moment, look at your paper, guess at what I'm going to fill in for the other 3. Okay, we are looking. I see 4 pieces in the next part. Therefore, I am going to call it fourths. And I'm going to cross it off my list. How many did you find in the next piece? Hopefully you said sixths. I see my number and I add a TH. Sixths, cross that off. Now this has way more pieces and it is eighths. Then we always get to the what is my vocabulary? Now here's where it gets a little tricky. These are my fill in the blanks, but the vocabulary is up there in that yellow box. So we're just going to walk through each one and I'm going to write in the term that makes the most sense for it. It is a number that names part of a whole or part of a group. So it's the word I'm going to use to describe a piece of something, so we call it the fraction. It is the part of a fraction above the line which tells how many parts are being counted. So in our pizza example, we had 1/3, and they're going to talk about that top number. We call that top number the numerator because it refers to the number of the pieces, okay? Now, number 3, it's the part of a fraction below the line. So now I'm going to look at that 1/3 and talk about this number. And that number tells me how many equal parts there are in the whole or in the group. In that case, there were 3 whole parts. 3 pieces to make the whole. And I call that number the denominator. Okay, the denominator denotes, that's where it gets kind of that word in here, denotes how many pieces there are. So the numerator is the number on top. The denominator denotes how many parts there are. Okay, my next word, it is a number that names one equal part of a whole and has 1 as its numerator. So 1 and any number. So like when we were talking about algebra, we'd say, oh, there's an M, or 1 over x, okay? This 1 over whatever's down here, we refer to that as the unit fraction, okay? So now this lesson is finished. We just did a review. I know some of the words I'm going to come across are the ones we've kind of already went over. We're going to talk about the denominator, eighths, equal parts, fourths, fraction, say something, oh, fraction greater than 1, which means it would be 1 plus another piece to get another fraction. Halves, the numerator. We're going to talk about 6 and thirds, that unit fraction where it's the number 1 over whatever the parts are, and a whole. So you are going to be done with this lesson. You are going to go to the Think Central link I have added to this, and you're going to reach out to me to say what is my username and what is my temporary password. Okay? Thank you.